ShinRobjira.
'Cause I don't need to know.
What's going on there, friends and neighbors? I am ShinRobjira, and welcome back to yet another figure review. Today, we are talking about NECA's Alien vs. Predator Xenomorph Warrior Thermal version. For those who have not seen this subpar pile of meh. In this movie, the Predators have all new thermal vision where they can detect specifically Xenomorph heat signatures, and for I guess maybe a couple of frames we get to see the Xenomorphs highlighted in this very wonky light neon green color. It's super duper cool and one of the very little saving graces of this movie right here. So for those who do not know, I am a huge Alien fan. Alien is one of my favorite sci-fi horror movies ever. Aliens is one of my favorite sci-fi action films ever. The franchise is very near and dear to my heart, and unfortunately, it's not that well represented in my collection as of right now. But with that anniversary Big Chat figure coming from NECA sometime in November, oh,
Daddy-like.
But yeah, anyway, today we were talking about the jolly neon green giant boy over here. That's not just a play on words either. This boy is pretty tall, and he ain't even fully extended in the legs. And that tail though, oh boy, we will get to that in due time. But anyway, how about we go over articulation first? Okay, articulation wise, the head can turn all the way around. The head can look up, and it can look down. The mouth can open about that far, can open and close. And since I have no fingernails, the inner jaw can be extended out from the mouth as well. The arms can go up about that far. We've got a nice bend at the elbow. Oh, and I probably forgot to mention that there is a double bend at the elbow as well. These things are meant to be posed in very alien poses. We also have a swivel at the elbow. We have a swivel at the hand, bend at the hand, can go up, can go down, and of course we have a bend at the palm as well. Neon Green Warrior can look back about that far, can look forward about that far, and can go all the way around at the waist. Look everybody, Jesus Christ was a Xenomorph. The legs can move out about that far due to the plastic over here on the Xenomorph's legs that really prevents any wide splits from this figure, but the legs do go all the way around, like so. We've got a double bend at the knee, we've got a swivel at the foot, and we've got a hinge at the toes, so the toes can go up and down, aiding in poses. We also have a swivel at the tail, and something many Godzilla fans will recognize is a bendy wire in the tail as well. Very good bendy wire. Now, if you're gonna pick this guy up or any of the other Xenomorph warriors from the AVP NECA line, be prepared to make some room, because we've got a very, very long boy. I summon thee! Now, when it comes to paint, clearly this figure is mostly going to be green, but you are going to get these very nice looking yellowish green highlights all around on the figure. Not just on the front, you're going to get it on the back as well, even on the Xenomorph's little back smokestacks here. Going to get it on the arms, the hands, the side of the head, the top of the head, the front of the head. As you can see, you're going to get some on the legs as well. Definitely a very interesting paint job. Now, this figure was advertised as glow in the dark, but it doesn't really glow for me. I'll be sure to take video or pictures of this thing later on in the day as it gets darker, but the glow-in-the-dark feature doesn't seem to work too well on mine, at least. Detail is a place where this figure shines the brightest, though, I feel, because there is a lot of truly whimsical and gross detail scattered throughout this figure. Something that I feel NECA does very, very well is capturing the likeness of the characters and creatures that they turn into figures, and the Xenomorph is a rather beautiful example of that. From the side of the head, to the inner mouth, to the teeth, to the wrinkles of the lips, to the beautiful membranes of the mouth, this is a Xenomorph tried and true. And even though this isn't my favorite Xenomorph design, and even though it's from a movie that I really, really don't like very much, NECA absolutely knocked this guy out of the park. Guy or gal, I'm not sure if there was ever any gender specification for the warrior aliens. I'm not sure. Before I move on to the rest of the head, I just love that there's a lot of detail under the dome dome over here on the alien's head. Looks very, very nice. Since we're back here looking at the Xenomorph Smokestacks back here, they look like squid tentacles. They look like they have like little suction cups on the backs of them, and yeah, I'm not going to talk about those. And despite this figure being cast in a mostly translucent green plastic, the detail still manages to stick out very, very well. Even on this rather rubbery, bendy wire tail, you're going to get a lot of really, really fantastic detail, and even in the tip of the tail. I do wish they made the bendy wire green, though, because it does kind of jut out towards the end of the tail. Like over here, you can barely see it, but once we get over here, I guess when the rubber, becomes a little... Sorry about that, but it's more towards over here when the rubber starts getting thinner that you see more and more of that bendy wire. But at the same time, this is an extremely tiny nitpick. Look at that detail. Bruh. Whether you like NECA or not, you cannot deny that the detail on their figures are definitely way above what you're paying for, I feel. I'm not saying that their prices are bad, absolutely not. Please, NECA, keep it in an affordable range here. I'm just saying that the quality of their figures far exceeds the price you're paying for them. I guess that's a better way of saying it. Like, even with these gnarly feet over here, the detail is fantastic, and I like that it's translucent like that. I'm a very, very big sucker for weird paint jobs. I don't know if I've made that clear enough thus far, but even with NECA's Godzilla GMK figure with that wild, wild blue paint job they gave him, I'm absolutely in love with that. And I actually hope we see more crazy paint jobs, much like this neon green Xenomorph in their Godzilla series. Because me personally, when it comes to my figures, I really don't care if they're 100% screen accurate or not. I really don't have too many downsides when it comes to this figure. Unfortunately, this guy has fallen off my shelf quite a number of times, and there's been some paint scuffage, as you can see here on his knee, and there's even been a scratch up here on his dome and a scuff here on his dome as well. Yeah, this guy's been through hell and back. In fact, if you look at the bottom of this foot, you can see a seam by the toe over here. Yeah, the toe actually broke off and I glued it on. I didn't realize how good of a job I did until now. I also love the amount of detail that went into the chest, and even the area that's going to be covered up by the rib cage if you lean the figure forward. There is so much detail. I do think this could have done with some more yellowish green on here though, because this looks rather discolored even when it's bending forward. But I really like this. I like that the paint really helps the rib cage pop out and it's much more noticeable. So I really like the head and I really like the chest the most on this figure. Okay, so this is the figure standing as tall as I can get it, and as you can see, it's a little over 9 inches tall, just a little bit. So if you plan on getting any AVP alien figures, just make sure it's not on a low shelf. But you know what? Even then, it really wouldn't matter, because due to the double bend in the knee, you can get this guy pretty low to the ground. In fact, I might as well just show you. Like, look at how high those knees go. Like, you can get this guy squatting deep down low. So I guess no matter where you put this guy, it really doesn't matter, as long as you have his tail supporting his pose like that. The tail is probably the biggest problem when it comes to shelf space, but thankfully the bendy wire does fix that a little bit. Like I said, you're really gonna have to mess about with the tail. But overall, I find that this figure is very versatile. Tall and lanky and able to fit into tight spaces like a Xenomorph should. Now, how about that size comparison? Here's the NECA AVP Xenomorph thermal version figure next to Aliens Infestation on the Nintendo DS. I love this game very much. It's Metroid with Xenomorphs and it's great. Here's Neon Green Boy next to the Alien Anthology Blu-ray collection. And as shown before, here he is next to the unrated DVD copy of Alien vs. Predator. And since this was part of one of my most recent videos, here's the Alien next to the Revoltech Ray Ayanami bandage version box. And here's my Nintendo 3DS. And here is a pocket knife. Yeah, I really don't have too many Xenomorph figures to compare this guy to, but I should go get some. Here's the NECA Green Xeno next to the NECA Xenomorph from Alien Covenant. Here's the NECA Green Xeno next to the Titan Alien vs. Predator Mystery Not So Mini Grid figure. Here's the figure next to one of my very favorite Xenomorph figures of all time, the SH Figuarts Big Chap figure. And here's good old Green Boy next to the Kenner Alien Goat Bull. Hold on. Okay, I was way off the mark. That is the Kenner Xenomorph Night Cougar figure. And here is everyone and everything all together. Overall, I truly do love what NECA did with this Xenomorph figure. I really need to get more of their Alien line because, like I said earlier in the video, the Alien franchise is one of my favorite horror franchise of all time. The Xenomorph is one of my favorite movie monsters of all time. And with that anniversary Big Chat figure coming out, like I said earlier in the video, that is a supreme must. So expect more Alien reviews, some of which are on screen right now. And who knows, maybe I'll do a video on the Alien franchise overall. Maybe I'll even play Alien Isolation on the channel at some point. That would be fun, right? But anyway, I have been ShinRobjira. I do hope you enjoyed this figure review, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.
Well, shit.